So we're here in Blackpool finally, the whole family's here. Look how pleased they all look.
We will be cheering you in. That's it. Big smiles and big waves for the crowds. It's a glorious day for it.
And here it is, the moment we've all been waiting for. The Great Northwest Half Marathon. And as you can see, I'm a little bit giddy with the old speed. Just through the gate there. Conditions are looking perfect for the race. Everything looks a little bit overcast but cool. It's nice and dry at the moment, so let's hope it stays like this. And yeah, welcome to my race recap. So we'll fast forward through each mile and I will give you details on how it went at that point and so on. So here we are, first mile completed. We did that in 8 minutes and 5 seconds with an average heart rate of 146 beats per minute. So feeling strong at the minute, maybe a little bit too fast. I know that the minute mile gauge has been jumping up and down, but the average pace is just a little bit faster than where it needs to be at this point. I did know this, Stride was telling me off the whole time, literally it was giving me white finger, the vibrations from the watch constantly going off. Would I listen? I would not. On to mile 2. And there we go, just passing the mile 2 marker. Well, it weren't a marker, but my watch. And we did that again at 8:05, this time with an average heart rate of 161 beats per minute. So we're up to sort of race heart rate where I would usually expect to be now. So feeling strong, legs were feeling great. I had plenty of bounce in them. There was nothing too out in the ordinary. I was going a little bit too fast, I did know that, but we'll just go on and see how that pans out for us. Let's go on to the mile 3. And here we are at mile 3, and so we did that one at 7:55 minute mile, so a little bit faster, but it just felt good if I'm honest with you. But that said, I haven't run a half marathon for some time, and obviously this is not what I had planned to pace. I was planning on doing exactly what Stride said to get the time that Stride had sort of planned out for me. But obviously I thought I knew better at this point. I was feeling good, I was feeling strong, so again let's see how that pans out and move on to mile 4. Oh, I should note that at this point I think half of us were a little bit stoned because there were some people smoking pot up on top and it was ridiculously strong. So I was actually expecting the munchies at some point. Anyway, that never came to fruition, so that's good. On to 4. So we're at mile 4. We did that in 8 minutes 12. So that was kind of where I needed to be. That were a good mile, and the heart rate was at 164 beats per minute as an average. So stayed where it needed to be. Everything's looking good so far. This bit of ground wasn't particularly good. You can see it's a bit damp, and there was a lot of sand on it, which I don't know if you can pick that up, but the feet didn't have much in the way of traction at this point. But nobody else were complaining, so I wasn't about to start. Let's move on to mile 5. Here we are at mile 5, so I've passed that at a respectable 8 minutes and 6 seconds with an average heart rate of 166 beats per minute. So again, around where we need to be, top end of, a little bit faster to be fair, but again we're on this ground section where it's a little bit slippy underfoot, so it's just a bit energy sapping. It was a bit like running on grass, but less bouncy. And also I apologise if you can hear some drilling in the background. I haven't chosen to put shelves up at the same time as doing this. Frank, my little dog, is fast asleep next to me and he's snoring really, really loud. So if you can hear that, apologies. On to mile 6. Here we are at mile 6, so I've done that in 8 minutes and 20 with an average heart rate of 167. Now I believe that the heart rate at this point has jumped up to 167 owing to the fact that that I'm climbing, it's not pancake flat like I always think it is. There's quite a bit of climbing on the way back to Blackpool, and 2, the sun started to really beat down, and there has been a distinct lack of heat training in this block of training for this half marathon, purely because it's been winter, and who expects it to be like the middle of summer on the 18th of February. So yeah, here's mile 6. Let's go to mile 7 and see if things improve. And here we are at a very picturesque mile 7. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one. We've slowed down a little bit more. We've done that one in 8 minutes and 31 seconds. So we've added 10 seconds to that. And with an average heart rate of, again, 167. So it has flattened out a little bit at this point. But as you can see, we're creeping ever so close to 170, which is above my race heart rate. At this point, I do start to blow. But obviously I aren't listening to that because I'm in the low 8s, as you can see there, in pace. So obviously I think I've got something else in the tank. Let's move on to mile 8 and see if that's the case. Here we are at mile 8. And there's the family just at the side getting some shots of us running past. At that point, when I was reviewing the video, I realised just how bad my posture was. So there's going to be a little bit more strength conditioning and Pilates, I think, moving forward. But I think I might reserve recording that and putting those on YouTube because nobody wants to see me doing a downward dog or whatever else it is that we do in those classes. Anyway, we're at mile 8. And as you can see, the pace has increased ever so slightly. So we did that one in 8:09 and an average heart rate of 169. So will that heart rate come down? Will the pace go up? Let's move on to mile 9 and see. Well, here we are at mile 9 and we did that at a respectable 8 minutes 23, but oh no, our heart rate is now at 170. We've gone over and we've averaged it now, which means there's kind of probably going to be no coming back from it. and things are only going to go south from there. So let's quickly jump on to mile 10 and see what's happening. So mile 10 was a little bit slower. We did that at 8 minutes and 41. Again, the average heart rate is at 170, so it hasn't jumped up, it didn't spike anywhere, it just stayed at the 170. The pace is a little bit all over the place if you're looking at it there, but stride was telling me off quite a bit at this point because I was under power to the grade of the floor. So I think I've mentioned this before. If you're going kind of downhill, it wants you to go faster. If you're going uphill, it wants you to go slower, and then level will be at like a level pace. So this kind of was a flatter with a slight descent to it. I should have been going faster than I was. Even though it's saying I'm doing 8:30 there, you'll see I'm jumping back up and I'm in 10s in no time. Anyway, I'm not too disappointed in myself at this point because I am managing to sort of keep coming back from it, but I know that I've got the hills coming up, so let's quickly jump along to mile 11 and see if we can pull anything back from this. And here we are at mile 11. Look at that, it looks stunning, doesn't it? Absolutely gorgeous on there. It was such a beautiful day, proper enjoyed this. I mean, I was absolutely dying at this point. Mile 11 took me 8 minutes and 55 seconds to complete, and my heart rate has now jumped to an average of 172. So I'm proper feeling this now, and every bit of this, every single time the next hill part came, because it's like an undulate course, you can't really see it here, but you're kind of up and down on it. And you really felt the downs because you felt like there was too much extension in your legs, and then it threw you straight into another up section, and finding the power in your legs to then get you up those little up sections just became increasingly more difficult. And this is only a half marathon. I don't know how people do. I mean, I've done a full marathon, I've done a few full marathons, but I don't know how people do ultras. Honestly, I'm wittering like this at half. Anyway, let's move on to mile 12 and see if we're on for any kind of a good time at all now. We are at mile 12, which is at the bottom of this hill, and at this point I had a really bad stomach, and had I have not walked this section, there's a good chance I may have accidentally pooped. So I needed to just settle myself down, get my heart rate back down, stop my stomach from almost coming out my throat, and just try and get things back in order. So that's what I did, and it didn't help the time, obviously. So let's just jump on to mile 13 and see how this has affected my goal. So here we are at mile 13, and I've done that at 8 minutes and 23 seconds. So obviously I had a little bit more in tank. You can see I've picked up pace here. I just want to get this over and done with now. I wouldn't say everything's hurting. In fact, if anything, this is probably the strongest I've felt at the end of a half marathon. Usually I come off these things and I'm shaking like mad, and I just have to sit down and then I can't stand back up again. There were none of that this time with this, so obviously the training did pay off. It was good training, it was quality training. I'm annoyed at myself now that I didn't start the proper training earlier on, but you can see here I'm just about to go through that finish, and let's see what time I managed to do that in.
shots. We have a photographer here taking pictures.
Thank you.
Your medal and t-shirts up on the registration desk. Well done.
Thank you. So how did you do?
Better than I thought I was going to do.
And what did you get?
Just shy of 154. I think it was 153.44.
Right, okay. And what?
I was expecting, well, I'd have been happy with a 155.
Right, okay. What was the last one you did?
Oh God.
Was that Ilkley when I did it?
Yeah, about 158.
Right, okay. And Carl hasn't been on plan doing what I've been doing. So that's well done, Carl.
Thank you.
Yeah. And me? What did I get?
What did you get, Craig?
I don't know. I can't remember. Let's have a look at it on the phone. Just a second. We're in the pub now. We've just ordered some food. We're going to have an alcoholic beverage, which I think
Well
we
earned.
both deserve. This is our medals. Thumbnail. 1 hour, 49 minutes and 36 seconds. So I just kept it under that 1 hour 50, which I am actually really happy about. So we all know what troubles I had at the beginning of this. I had a lot of trouble at the beginning of this. So to get that after a 2 hour half marathon last time is pretty good. Well, it's a few days later. Actually, it's Thursday night and it's not track night. I'm not going up there tonight. We're having a nice easy week. This is my first run since the race. So I just thought I'd just jump on. I were editing the video last night. It's practically done. I just wanted to tag this on the end. Just to say thank you to everybody that did follow along. Your comments have really meant the world to me, and there's been moments where I think we've all sort of seen where I've been flagging and I could have probably skipped a run. I know I skipped a few runs, but I could have probably skipped a few more. But what kept me going was thinking to myself, one, I had a race to get to, and two, I had videos to make. And those videos would be a bit pointless and short if I were only doing one run a week. So a massive, massive thank you. So I know I joked about it a few times, but I had several goals. I had an A goal, which was obviously sub 140. Didn't get that. My B goal was to get under 150. And then the C goal was obviously not to touch 2 hours, which I'm happy with that. So anyway, the leg held up, as you saw. It was the rest of me that fell to pieces. But I'm not bothered. It was great. I've already booked a few more races. I don't know which my new main race is going to be, but I hope you stay with me. And if you're new here, please whack that subscribe button and give this video a like, just to let me know that you've watched it, and why not even drop me a comment. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. We've got a run to do tonight. It's the first one back with the club. I'm going to take it nice and steady, and I don't have to sit here and waffle on about power afterwards because I'm paying no attention to this today. Okay, we'll see you in the next one.